Welcome to GeorgeWay Math TV.
Okay, so how am I going to solve for the variable x right here? Oh, so I have my quadratic right here. So I have this right. I know I have this in the form ax squared plus that bx plus c, and this time is equals 0. So I know all I have to do is just factor this side and set everything equals 0. And when it comes to factoring this side, I remember that when I have a leading coefficient of 1, there's a 1 here, I can't see, but there's a 1. I know if there's a leading coefficient of 1, it's easy. I'm just going to have my two parentheses ready for me right here. And the variable that I'm dealing with is x, right? So I'm going to put x and x on that side. So now to figure out what goes here, this is what I do. I'm going to look for two numbers that if I multiply, I should get a number at the end here, which is the 20. And if I add those same two numbers, I should get a middle number, which is -9. So now I'm going to start searching for the two numbers. So now, I always start with 1, right? So I do 20, I do the multiplication first. So 20 divided by 1 is 20. So that means 20 times 1 is 20. But what is 20 plus 1? That's not -9. What is -20 minus 1? That's not -9. So that means 1 and 20 is not going to work. So let me move on to 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So that means 10 times 2 is 20. But 2 plus 2 is not, 2 plus 10 is not -9. So let me move on to 3. 20 divided by 3, that even give me a decimal. So that will not even work. And then 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that means 5 times 4 is 20. But what is 5 plus 4? That is +9. So I'm getting close because I'm looking for -9. So what about if I make both of them a negative? -5 times -4 is +20. -5 plus -4 is -9. So I got my two numbers. So -5 and -4 will be the two numbers that I'm looking for. So now all what I do is I have my -5 and I have my -4. Okay, but I know that I have to set this equals the 0 right here. So I'm solving for x. To do that, I break this down to 2. I set this equals 0. And I set this equals, guess what? 0. And I'm just going to solve for my x. So to solve for x right here, to get x by itself, I do the opposite with the -5. It's a -5. The opposite should be a +5. Whatever I do on one side, I then do the same thing on the other side. So +5. So this cancels out. So now I have x by itself. And then 0 plus 5 is 5. And then on this side, I want to get x by itself too. So I got to do the opposite with this one too. It's a negative. So I add 4. Do the same thing on this side. I have my x by itself. 0 plus 4 is 4. So that means my answer should be what? X equals 4, 5. So that'll be my answer. What about this one? So this one too, same thing. I have my quadratic right here. Again, it's in this form right here. The ax squared. I'm not going to write it again. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So I know how to do this part. So I'm going to factor this part right here. And to do that, again, same thing. The leading coefficient is a 1. So I can do it a quick way, which is I just do my two parentheses. And the variable that I'm working with is a v. So I put the v's right here. So I have to figure out what numbers goes here. And these two numbers together, this is how I know I do it. I'm looking for two numbers that if I multiply, I should get the number at the end here, which is the -4. negative 14. Sorry. Yeah, I mean negative 14. Yeah. And if I add those same two numbers, I should get negative 5, which is that middle number here. So now, how am I going to find these two numbers? I always start with 1. So I'm doing the multiplication first, right? So I'll do negative 14 divided by 1 is negative 14. Which means negative 14 times 1 is negative 14. But what is negative 14 plus 1? That ain't negative 5. So that means I'm going to move on to 2. So negative 14 divided by 2, that is negative 7. So that means negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. But what is negative 7 plus 2? That is negative 5. Alright, so I got my two numbers. So that means the two numbers that I'm looking for is positive 2 and negative 7. Positive 2 and negative 7. So now here, I'm just going to put my positive 2 and negative 7. But it should be equal 0, right? Okay. So now, since I'm solving for V, I have to split this right here. I put this right here, I set that one right there, equals 0. And I do the same thing right here. I set this equals 0. And to solve for V, I do the opposite right here for the 2 to get a V by itself. So it's a plus, so I subtract. And then whatever I do on this side, I gotta do the same thing on this side. So I minus 2 on this side also. The 2 cancels out. So now I got V by itself equals. And then 0 minus 2 is negative 2. And then on this side, I want to get V by itself again. So I got to get rid of the negative 7. So it's a minus 7. The opposite is a positive 7. And I do the same thing on this side. Plus 7. The 7 cancels out. Now I got V by itself equals 0 plus 7 is 7. So my final answer should be V equals what? I had negative 2, comma, and then the 7 right there.
Please don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell to be notified for new videos, and share.